Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Bee Beauty Jar. I'm so excited because we're going to talk about foundation and contouring and highlighting today. And it all starts with your skincare. And so as I talked about before with Rodan and Fields, if you are not using a good skincare regimen, you might want to consider Rodan and Fields, because I've been using it for 6 days and I already see a huge difference in my skin. And this is from someone who already takes care of their skin. So I'm super excited about that. And the next video that I do on skincare, I'm going to show you the before and after pictures after just 6 days of just one regimen without any of the extras. So that's on another video though. But we're going to do foundation first. And my first trick for today is to do translucent powder first. And I know that goes against anything that you've ever probably thought of, because usually you do your foundation, your highlighting, your contouring, your concealer. Usually you do all that first and then you do your powder. And I'm using a Mary Kay translucent powder. I was with Mary Kay Cosmetics for 15 years and I have an affinity towards Mary Kay Cosmetics products, but I'm going to use the translucent powder first, then the foundation. Why do you want to do that? It just helps your skin glow. It absorbs all the oils or moisture or anything that's on your skin to really set the palette for your foundation, and it helps to keep your foundation lasting longer throughout the entire day. So pick your favorite translucent powder. Translucent meaning it has no color. So it looks white. I don't know if you can see this. It looks white, but it goes on translucent. It goes on see-through. And so you start with that, and then you do your foundation. Again, I don't know if you've ever done highlighting and contouring, but I do foundation first, and then I do highlighting and contouring. Then I set it with powder. And I also do 2 different colors of foundation. And this is my everyday. And I don't spend a lot of time on glamour on my everyday makeup. You know, when I'm going to go out or I'm going to do something and I need to look a little bit more glamorous, I'll spend more time, obviously, like everyone does. But for every day, I still do 2 colors of foundation. For one, we have the perfect face shape is an oval. And so for those of us who don't have the oval face shape, we can create it with makeup. I love makeup. And that's why I'm doing the Bee Beauty Jar channel. And so I start with a foundation that matches my skin tone, and I happen to be using an older beige 304 from Mary Kay, and so you can use a foundation brush or your fingers. I tend to go back and forth and use both, and you're just going to put this all over. I also like to do the eyelids. Some people say not to do the eyelids. I have pretty veiny eyes, and that blue will show up if I don't. And I make sure to cover every area of skin with that base color that matches my skin tone. And I don't know if you know this, but almost every person can wear 2 or 3 different colors of foundation that'll almost be a perfect match. I mean, there's so many colors out there. You don't have to be terrified, because you know your skin changes colors as well. You might be in the sun a little bit more one day and you forgot your sunscreen, or even if you had your sunscreen you still got extra sun, and your skin color changes a little bit. And if it's a good foundation, even if your skin color changes, it should still blend in and look good. So the second color that I'm using is an Ivory 6 Mary Kay foundation, and this is where the oval comes in. This is just foundation, not highlighting and contouring. So for the oval, for me, I'm going straight down the T-zone, right? You're going to create a highlight in the center, and then here. And this used to be called your cat's whiskers, because you're just going to put it right here, not on your nose, and you're going to whisker it out. And then you're going to just put it right there on your chin, right in the center. You could do your upper lip, straight up, and feather that out. That's just foundation. So we've done translucent powder and 2 colors of foundation. If you're using a foundation brush, then you want to make sure to put the color right on the brush and just paint it on. This foundation brush has been used so much it's falling apart. I need a new one. But I use this when I do the highlighting and contouring. Next, after the translucent powder and the 2 foundations, we're going to do a little bit of concealer. And I say a little bit of concealer because you know a tiny bit of concealer goes a long way. So I'm just going to put a tiny little bit on the brush, and I'm going to put it right in the dark under eye circles. This makes a huge difference in making you look wide awake, youthful, and well rested. So you want to make sure just to put it, don't put it on your skin that's not darker, just put it in the shadows, if you have them, under your eyes. So this is just a regular concealer. And this is shade Ivory 1 from Mary Kay. And then I have pretty deep facial labial lines right there. So I don't do more on my brush. I just take what's left over and just kind of blend it in there. The next step you're going to do is the highlighting and contouring. I have two favorites that I want to share with you. One is MB York Camouflage Eye Disguise, it's called. MB York. And the other one is the Mary Kay Under Eye Corrector. And I'll use the Under Eye Corrector not only under eyes, but I use it in other places too. So I don't know if that's like sacrilege in Mary Kay now, but I know I use some concealer, but I'm just going to do a little bit more right there, and then I'll use a little bit here. You can also use, this is a perfecting concealer. They make that in lighter colors too. You can also just use a perfecting concealer. There, that brush, I need super glue. And you can just do that, because I don't have very thick lips, and so if you put a little bit of highlight right on the top of your upper lip, it helps to make your lips look a little bit more full. And you'll see that once we do a glamour video. Today we're just focused on your palette, which is your foundation step and all these extras that help fight the signs of aging. And then you also don't want to worry about going in here, because if you can highlight that area and make that look lighter and brighter, helps to open up your entire face. Again, I just kind of finish off with the facial labial lines right there. The next one might scare you a little bit, because I got the darkest color of perfecting concealer that Mary Kay makes, and this is, what is it? Deep Bronze. And so deep bronze, again, you want to use a tiny little bit. To use a tiny little bit of this product, I don't even take it all the way out. I just take it out a little bit, enough for me to use my foundation brush and get some off of the wand. And it's super dark. And what you're going to do is you're going to contour your cheekbones. And so a lot of times people aren't sure where that should go. And so you want to make sure that you don't want to go any lower from the bottom of your nose to the bottom of your earlobe. So you want to keep it above that, because if you go lower than that, it'll pull your face down. And then you also don't want to go any closer than about 2 finger widths from your nose or straight down from your pupil. You don't want any color in there, because remember, we're highlighting that oval. So you want to keep the color and the darkness on the outside to shadow the outside, so we're highlighting that oval. So I'm just going to start with the dark deep bronze, and I'm just going to kind of stipple it in and then circle so it doesn't look like a line on your cheek, because that's the last thing you want, right? And so just if you look from that side to that side, boom, I just created a cheekbone that wasn't there. Of course it was there, but I just contoured it and made it pop out a little bit better. So you're just going to do a line and then just circle or stipple to blend that in. And that's the contouring that I love. There's other contouring areas that you can focus on. That's my favorite, is that part of your cheek. But for me, again, because my lips are not very big, you could do so we highlighted the top lip, and what we're going to do is we're going to contour underneath the bottom lip to make that bottom lip look pouty. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it right underneath. If I would stop talking. Right there. See how already it makes the whole lip line look bigger? Just by putting it right there. And I know that if you know it's there, and if you look, you could say, oh, it's darker right there. But if somebody doesn't know it's darker right there, they won't know. Another area that people can contour is right here to give their face more definition. Just a little bit right there and a little bit right there. That's not something that I think looks great on me, but you can try it on you and see what you think. The best way to do it is just try it out and see what you think. And so then the next area would be powder. I do realize there's a couple more highlighting areas that I didn't share that I'll share with you really quick. You can do a little bit above your eyebrow just to help lift the brows. And then you just take your brush. I'm using my finger now because you want to do all the highlighting first before the contouring, obviously, if you're going to use the same brush. And then, of course, clean your brushes. And you want to use a makeup cleaner to clean your brushes, let them dry. But if you just do a little bit of highlighter above your brow and then lift up with your finger, and you want to always use your ring finger. Why do you want to use your ring finger? Because that's your weakest finger. If you were to put your hand on the table and lift up each finger, you'll notice that when you lift up your ring finger, your pinky comes too, and it's because your ring finger is the weakest finger, and whenever you apply pressure to your skin, you want to make sure that you use your weakest finger. And then one other area that you can contour, and I still have a little bit of contour, the deep bronze on my brush, but you can really change parts of your face that you don't like, and you should always embrace and love yourself. However, if there's some things that you don't like, you can change them. And so for me, I always felt like my nose was a little bit big. I know it's not, it's fine. But I highlighted the center with the other foundation, but what I could do is I could put a little bit of contour on each side of the nose. See that? And boom, I just made it a little bit thinner looking, or a little bit less wide. And blend it in. Boom, bada bing. No one even knows you did it. And I made my nose smaller. Right? And so then the next step is to do your powder. And there's a couple different powders that I like. You can use pressed powder, loose powder. I like to use the Mineral Powder Foundation from Mary Kay just because it's good for your skin. Any mineral powder foundation is probably great. Let me know what your favorite products are based on what I'm using. I'd love to hear what you use, and so I could try something new. But before I do the powder, I like to bronze. And I don't know if you can see this, but I have this old palette that is still my go-to, and I have 3 different colors of bronze. Can you see that? 3 different colors of bronze that I use daily. And so this is instead of cheek color for me, and I just again go over the area that I contoured, because that's my favorite area, is contouring right there in the cheek area. And then what you can do too, if you want to really define your jawline, you want to go underneath. So where you already naturally have a shadow, you're going to enhance only that shadow. So be careful. See how this is light and this is light, but this is naturally dark. You're going to enhance that naturally dark area with your bronzer, and it just really defines your chin without it looking like you put a ton of makeup down there, and it just helps to define your chin. And so as far as highlighting, contouring, foundation, bronzing, it's preparing your palette for glamour. And we're going to spend next week on glamour. And so I do the bronzer before the powder because I like to really load it up and make sure it's on there, but I also don't want it to look overdone. And so I'm just using the same brush, even though I have all those brushes, I'm just using the same brush for my mineral powder foundation, or pressed powder, or whatever powder you're going to use to set your foundation. And I'm just going to give it a quick swipe over my whole face. And there we go. Voila. Now my face is ready. The palette is set for color, for glamour. And we're going to have a lot of fun with glamour too. And I'd love to hear from you if you'll comment and tell me what you want to see for glamour. You know, we could do, we used to call them pucker up buttercup lips to have really pouty lips. I could teach you that. I can teach you all kinds of different effects for your cheeks. There's something called hooking, believe it or not. Of course, the cat eye and different eye looks we can do, eyebrow shaping, all kinds of fun things that we can talk about. But tell me what you want to hear. What more glamour do you want tips and techniques for? So my main tips for today is to put translucent powder on a moisturized face before you put on your foundation. That's like the biggest aha that most people don't know. It makes your foundation set. It makes it just glow. It makes your skin glow and look fantastic. And it's a little tip or trick that a lot of people don't know. And then you want to do 2 colors of foundation, darker on the outside, lighter on the inside. Then you're going to use your highlighting and contouring wherever you see fit, a little bit of concealer if you need to conceal. And I used to have to conceal all sorts of blemishes that because of my new skincare I don't have, yay! And then you're going to do your bronzer, then you're going to set it with your powder. Thanks so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, Be Beauty Jar. See you soon.